Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for Next Weather. I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink, and we're just going to do an update on the tropics. It is August 1st, which means we are getting to the increase that we usually see with tropical season. So let's just get right into it. Right now, nothing is expected in the tropics in the next 7 days, nothing long-term overall that we are seeing. So that is good news. It is staying quiet right now in the Atlantic Basin. But one reason that I did mention I want to be talking about this is because on our storm frequency chart, you can see where we are located. We are now in August. You can start to see we get to that increasing point in our tropical season. We do start in June and we go all the way to November, but mid-September is when we start to see that peak. So we're about a month away. This is also the time we start to see stuff coming off of the African coastline, those tropical waves that we usually have to monitor. And here's your reminder for the forecast. We are still at an above average season, according to Colorado State University's forecast, as well as the National Hurricane Center and NOAA's forecast. We've had 3 named storms so far, no hurricanes and no major hurricanes. Named storms, we've been predicted to have 16 from Colorado State and 13 to 19 from NOAA. And then 8 from Colorado State and 6 to 10 from NOAA for hurricanes, and then 3 from Colorado State and then 3 to 5 from NOAA. We've had 0 for hurricanes and 0 for major hurricanes. We've just had tropical storms at this point. And here's the name list. We've had Andrea, Barry, Chantal. Tropical storm wise already. The next name on the list is going to be Dexter. So whenever or if anything else forms in the Atlantic that gets to the point of a tropical storm or greater, that is the next name we will use on the list. Now, we do have extended forecasts that we're keeping an eye on. This one is for August 6th through August 12th. This is a pretty large area that will be monitored. This is based off of the Climate Prediction Center, not the National Hurricane Center. So those are 2 very different things. The climatological data that we've had in the past is what helps us kind of highlight these areas of interest a little bit more. So that's why we're going to be keeping an eye on areas of the East Coast and part of the Caribbean all the way down to Cuba. So these are where we'll be monitoring for week 2 of August. So this is August 6th through August 12th. So do keep that in mind. And then another area, this is week 3, ignore the date. It's supposed to be week 3 of August, so the 13th through the 19th. There's another area that will be monitored with a very small chance of development, and as you notice, is coming off the African coast. This is pretty typical for this time of year, especially going into September. This is when we start to see tropical waves come off the coast of Africa. A lot of them do come off of them. We monitored one a couple weeks ago. It didn't turn into anything, at a very low chance of rain. This is when they could spin up in the coast just a little bit, but this is pretty typical for this time of year. That's an area we typically watch at this point, but this is pretty normal for our hurricane season. It's still pretty quiet out there, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. Now, hurricane season, we've been forecasted to have an above average hurricane season. The Pacific has been pretty rowdy out there. Luckily, nothing to affect us. They're already gone through letters A through I at this point. I think they've also gotten to G2 as well. That area, they're not seeing as much wind shear. One thing that has been killing these systems is wind shear. Now, to describe wind shear, it's when at different levels in the atmosphere, there's different wind directions. So say there's wind direction of a northerly wind at the bottom, so it's going towards the north. Then say you go up in a layer, that one's going towards the south or the east or the west. So those different areas of different wind directions just takes out the spin of anything that can happen tropical. So luckily there's been a lot of wind shear that's been helping aid in us not seeing as much tropical development. A lot of those tropical storms we have had have become tropical storms late on in its life, right before landfall. That's when it made its way as a tropical storm. So they're very, I wouldn't say last minute, but they happen pretty quickly right before landfall. So even those have not been the strongest we've seen either. So this is your reminder. We are not out of hurricane season yet. We have not even reached the peak of hurricane season. This is just me telling you to be prepared. Luckily, those parameters in the atmosphere have aid us to not see as much at this point, but we still have a few months to go. We still have the peak of hurricane season. The waters are getting warmer. Warmer waters do fuel tropical systems. So right now in the Gulf specifically, temperatures are near 90 degrees near the beaches. So that's almost bath water. So if something were to come into the Gulf, those do help fuel them. That's why we've had those lows come in and bring a lot of rain over the last few weeks. So overall, this is just your gentle reminder to be prepared. Have the Fox 10 Weather app. We'll continue to monitor anything in the tropics as they come and go. We also have these reminders out for you to help keep you safe and prepared. Thank you so much for joining me on Next Weather, and we'll see you next week.